The first way we are going to practice playing F sharp is the way that you would play F sharp if you play on a saxophone. So when you hold a saxophone, it's going to be really similar to what you do with your flutophone, where you have a thumb here and you have your 3 fingers on top. So this is actually G on saxophone, just like this is G on flutophone. So see how that's very similar? So for our F sharp, we are going to use our middle finger on our right hand, and we are going to cover this hole here. So this was our F. We're going to switch here to our F sharp, and it should sound like this. Making sure that all of the fingers are covered. So we can do that on saxophone as well. It's going to sound different on saxophone. Saxophone is in a different key, and we'll talk about what that means later on when we have our instruments. But for now, I want you to think about, you have 1, 2, 3, plus your middle finger, skipping this key right here. So this would be F on saxophone, just like it's F on flutophone, but we're gonna go like this to play F sharp. So go ahead and let's try playing F sharp like a saxophone. The second way we are going to practice playing our F sharp on flutophone is actually how you would play F sharp if you had a flute. So just as we did on saxophone, this is also G on flute when we have 3 fingers here. So it's very similar to our 3 fingers on flutophone. So we have our 3 fingers here, and then if this were a saxophone, I would be adding my middle finger. But it's not a saxophone, so I'm actually going to add my ring finger instead. And your F sharp should sound like this. So let's try that now with the flutophone. The same fingering, but using our flutophone rather than a flute. So we are going to have our G, and then we're going to put our ring finger right here. So we skip the F, we skip F sharp that we did last time for a saxophone version, and we do the flute version instead, which is going to look just like this. Let's give it a try. So you will notice that there's not a big difference between the sound if we play it like a saxophone or if we play it like a flute. We are going to continue on learning our final way to play F sharp on the flutophone. And the reason why I decided to teach this one last, even though you might think, well, isn't the recorder the most similar to the flutophone? In some ways, yes, because it has a very similar technique where we need to make sure we cover the holes completely. But I think it's really helpful if you know how to play F sharp on flute, which was like this, right? And F sharp like a saxophone, which was like this. You just put those together, and that is how you're going to play an F sharp like a recorder. So this would be our F sharp on saxophone. This would be our F sharp on flute. We put both of those down, our middle finger and our ring finger on our right hand, to play F sharp like a recorder. So let's hear how that sounds with the recorder. It's going to be very similar. You have thumb, 1, 2, 3, and then middle finger, ring finger, skipping 1. This is our F, right? F sharp, we're going to add these 2. So do you hear how those are very similar?